In this week's video, we've got a lot of things going on. We've got a lot of tidying up happening and planting out and seed sowing, all in prep for next week's full garden tour. Hope you'll stick around and enjoy. Well, here's an update on the dahlias and bare root geranium project. The bare root geraniums, as you can see, are no longer in this container because they failed. I had the 2 dahlias that I overwintered the tubers, and one failed, but one is sprouting. So 50%'s not bad in my book for a first go round. And these are 3 tubers that I purchased a couple of months ago. So I will continue to do my geraniums as I've always done them in the garage with grow lights for the winter. As you can see, they have all done marvelously, and there's a few mums and other things, begonias in there as well, but they're out for a sun. We're trying to get them hardened off again. The giant Prague celeriac are ready to go out, so that's my next job. So we're going to be working on my front beds today, and this is the kind of day I always wait for. It's clouds in and out, great temperature, because this is a south-facing garden, and that means that it gets pretty hot between the stone, cement, driveway, etc. So let's see what's volunteered itself, what came back, what didn't, and what's going on. So there is a quick overview of this path that leads up to the front door. That's what I'm going to be working on. First, I want to take stock of what came back. I had a dianthus, typically an annual, come back, and it is beyond gorgeous. Those are some coneflowers, sedum. The daffodils are over now. And some of my alley poppies have come back there, some gumfrina, and I had some of my snapdragons, the tall snapdragons, come back. I love it when they come back. I planted some snaps here, and there's just a couple coming. Not sure what this is, but it looks like it was intentionally planted by me, although it looks like grass, so I'm not sure. Just going to leave it for a moment and see what happens. Oh, it looks like right down here I have a couple volunteer snapdragons, so I have to work around those. That looks like some brown-eyed Susans coming back right there. More coneflower. The alliums are blooming. I love these, but the one thing I hate about them is just as they get going like this, blooming, the foliage just dies back and starts looking a little tatty. There's some sedum, low-growing sedum there. Oh, another dianthus came back here. This one is white. I love that. That's like a bonus when you buy an annual and it comes back. See the allium, it's just starting to pop into its glory, but the foliage is looking so tatty. And then all along here is that one, oh, don't mind my shadow, the sedum. This blooms yellow, so it puts on a good show for me, and it's pretty easy peasy. I sprinkled some salvia seeds in here couple of weeks ago, and they are starting to sprout, so I'll have a little pop of purple right there. Some more gumfrina, and the tulips. Oh, this is another kind of allium coming, and some exotic plants right there. I'll have to look them up on the internet before I pull them. Make sure I'm not pulling something amazing. Oh, that looks like Love in the Mist has volunteered itself, and I don't think this snap came back. Well, maybe it's, yep, maybe it's this one, and that snap came back. Oop, this snap is doing really great. And I'm just thrilled to death that these poppies right here are happy. Now, I wonder what that is right there, because it looks intentional. I'm gonna wait and see what happens. There were sweet peas there last year that were not that impressive. Well, let me get to work. Well, this bed sure looks better all cleaned up. I did take some of that allium foliage off just because it, you know, it's just kind of icky looking. And I do think that that clump of stuff that I initially saw was in fact grass, so I've taken it out. I don't think it was anything special. But now I have brought some things to put in. Sweet peas that I grew, some dianthus and snaps that I purchased. Those are African marigolds. They're going to probably be for another day. Got some hybrid snaps that I grew, some delphinium, and some short snaps. So I need to get to it. There's Al filling up the 7 large pots. We've got them out of storage now, filled them about 25% up with wood chips, and now we're putting in our special homemade potting mix. And these are going to mostly grow veg and herbs this year with a little bit of flowers. It makes excellent growing space. And it also breaks up visually our look of that stark white fence that the neighbors put in. There's those 2 trellises that we purchased, and they are going to be where we put the 2 pot tomatoes this year. Now we're entering the berry section underneath the blackberry arbor. We've added now these 6 half-barrel planters and took out the blue bench from this area and moved that blue bench over there into the main veg growing space. We like it over there. It's a great place to sit and look at things, and it may stay there, may not. Al's getting these ready so that we can get them planted up. This is going to be great extra growing space this year. The front 2 we planted up in the last video with potatoes, and I may do one more of these. It is a bright sunny day after a long rain, and everything has come on very nicely after that. It's very soggy out here, so I am going to work in those pots that we got filled just before the rain came. First things I'm going to put in is some herbs. I've got a mixed dill from the Door County Seed Library. I've got a curly parsley. This is the triple curled variety. It is very strong flavor, but we love it. And a new one called mammoth basil. This basil is supposed to have leaves so big that you can make a sandwich wrap out of them. So we're both very excited about it. I have got my sunglasses on, my big hat, sunscreen, and I am ready to go. Well, I've planted out some white and pink begonias and some Karuta Shin carrots. Never tried those before. Toilet paper roll tubes growing at its finest. These are those Cracker Jack marigolds. They get quite tall, so I think they are going to be the ones that I put in the center. So some people leave the toilet roll on. I like to take some or all of it off. It just seems to work out better for me. Well, this is the forgotten section of the yard. Al has pulled out rows of Sharon, which were the type that put down tons of seeds and was a constant battle pulling up baby rows of Sharon. And he's building me a Fort Knox temporary cage to go around sunflower seedlings. I'm participating in Linda at the Feel Good Gardens Sunflower Seed Challenge. So in the back of this cage, I've planted the mammoth sunflowers, and in front of that, Allie in Canada at my Rusty Garden sent me pink, purple, and chocolate cherry sunflower seeds from her garden. So this should be a very beautiful show, just as long as we can get them along far enough that they're strong and the bunnies won't be interested in taking them out. Speaking of taking out, look what the squirrel did to my pansy pot overnight. Man, they're annoying. Well, I'm very excited to be planting the sweet garlic seeds. This is a little collab that I put together with some other of my YouTube friends. We'll be doing a grow video together and a how did you really honestly think about this new release plant? How'd you cook it? What did it taste like, etc. This sweet garlic has been in development over the past 10 years. It was chosen because this particular leek had some expressions of a mild savory garlic note. And the breeder bred this particular trait out for 10 years, trialed it with like 150 different chefs and growers, got their feedback, and it's supposed to have a concentrated flavor, a rather buttery texture, and the whole plant is edible from the bottom to the top. So I'm quite excited about this sweet garlic collab. So I hope you'll subscribe and follow along. I also purchased some Badger Flame beet seeds from row 7. These also looked just amazing. I'm excited about them. So continuing with my planting, I did the crystal apple sent to me by Nanu over at plot number 9 in the UK, and a Socrates F1. Whew, those seeds were very expensive, about $1 a piece. And they're just going to go up this trellis right here. So I've probably jumped the gun, but I am planting the Punicura on the right and the H19 Little Leaf OG cucumbers. I did those Punicuras last year. They are much tastier picked at a younger age than the colors shown on the packaging. And this is the trellis that they will grow up. Next week we're going to get pretty warm, so I'm hoping that by the time they sprout, all will be good. Well, I'm about to sow my very favorite carrots here in this short little 2-foot row. They're envy carrots. They are delicious and they are little troopers. They don't bolt for me at all. I love that. Well, here's a little tour of what's left of my seedlings. Some of these are to be gifted away and for my garden. The peppers and tomatoes, of course, still can't go outside. It's just a smidge too cool at night. But very shortly, in a handful of days, they should be able to go in the ground. Here's my Borlato beans and Greek Gigante beans. Thank you, Will, the Flying Gardener, for those seeds. I appreciate it. Lupin, a couple of kinds of basil, including my favorite, the lemon drop. Aunt Molly's ground cherries. A couple of climbers I bought at the nursery a variety of snaps and other lettuces and things, but everything is going out as I have time and space. There's the nasturtiums. I haven't quite decided where to put these yet. That's why they're getting so darn big. Delphinium, a type of short snapdragon. There's some more of my very tall snapdragons. That's some African marigolds, some short French marigolds, and some stock, which I stink at growing, but apparently this year it's working. I sure hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you'll come back next week for the full garden tour. Remember, sometimes the only thing we harvest is knowledge, and that's okay. Bye for now. We'll see you on the next one.